the way God speaks to me first at a young age was through music.
You're hypersensitive to everything. You see it for what it is.
My audition was and action.
Right.
Qualifies the call.
If we trust and believe, we know in faith it shall be. It's in the evidence. It's in the evidence. It's in the evidence. In the evidence.
Hey family, welcome back to another episode of In the Evidence, and I am your host, Amari Holmes. On this podcast, we highlight evidence of Jesus Christ, one testimony at a time. And today, I have the pleasure of spending time with, on the couch, Crystal Renee Hayslett. Hey girl.
Hey girl, hey.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited.
I am too. Excited. We're gonna have fun today.
I watched all your episodes of your podcast.
Thank you.
And everything that you're guest on, and dropping gems.
Well, I appreciate that.
All the time. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
For those who don't know Crystal, she is an actress on Tyler Perry's Sisters and Zatima, producer, host of the renowned Keep It Positive Sweetie podcast, and is part owner of the DC Power FC, amongst many other things. But those are some titles that she has in her Instagram bio. So we're going to go with those today. Okay? We'll probably dig in deeper into some other things as well.
Okay.
But to know her is to know her light. I feel like from the moment I met you, it's just, you know, when people say it's just something about her, right? And you can attest that to the light of God, you know? Where they're saying just something about her, it's God. Because that's just we're called to be the salt and the light.
Yes.
And it really exudes from you in every room.
The best compliment. That's my prayer every morning.
It really does. Even when you came in today, right? I was putting on my necklace and you're like, I was like, can someone help me? You're like, girl, come here. You know, I do wardrobe too. Just the service, the act of service.
Yes, that's important.
So that's good, yes.
And a lot of people lose it. Yeah. You know, once they grow into do other things, people lose that part. Yeah, I try to hold on to that.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
And that's good. Like, holding on to that, the humility, there's so much humility in that.
Yeah.
So I think your walk, your actions just speak for themselves, right? And I can say, oh yeah, when you speak about God, I can see that in your actions and just how you hold yourself. So
thank you, sis. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So caught a glimpse of you on our TV screens, on our computers, on social media, you know? But how would you describe yourself as Crystal Renee Hayslett?
That is so good. Yes, because you've seen me in so many different personalities from TV to who I really am. As you said, I'm a child of God. I do have a heart of service. I love to help people. I love to see people happy, you know, whether it's through just hanging around people, giving them experiences, cooking for them, feeding them. I just love seeing like people happy and like, oh, I'm loving this. I am a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt, you know, and I love my nieces and nephews. I am a creator. I love to use my imagination. I love to use my hands, and I love to travel. And I am someone who's ever evolving. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because people try to box you in to like one season of your life. So I am open to the evolution. I'm open to whatever God has for me. So that's
good. I like that. I'm ever evolving.
Yeah.
Wow, when you said that, woman evolve.
Yes, I'm going to be. I'm doing the slumber party or the slumber party jam
for her
for Woman Evolve this year. Yes,
nice! Look at that.
Yeah, shout out Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah, Woman Evolve.
Yes,
that's
can't wait.
dope.
Pull up.
That's gonna be lit. Yeah, pull up. It's a sleepover.
Yeah, it's like they do like a slumber party, like little events, a panel where we all come in our pajamas, all the women come and we have a good conversation.
I love that. Yeah. Y'all better go because that I already know. Gems.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. Ever evolving. What? Martin, Tennessee. That's where you're from.
Woo.
Okay.
Yes.
So saying all those things, you're a aunt, you're a sister, you're a philanthropist, right?
Yeah.
You're so many things. What seeds did Martin, Tennessee and your upbringing plant that blossomed into this woman that you just described?
You know, that's such a good question. Where I am from, I always say that there was not a lot to do that gave me the ability and the room to dream as big as I wanted.
Okay.
A lot of times when you don't have a lot of distractions, your mind is able to wander and to vision things outside of what you can see. And I've always had this big imagination. I've always had big dreams that were far beyond Martin, Tennessee. And I would say that some of the things that Martin planted in me was the immense sense of community. You know, it's a very small town. Everyone knows everyone. When you're driving down the street, you don't even have to know who's in the car. Your hand goes up. Yeah, like it's just a thing that we do. You speak to people, you know, when you walk past them. And a sense of family, a sense of groundedness. You know, being from the country, like I walk barefoot all the time. And it's so fun. I'll walk to my mailbox barefoot. I'll walk in the grass. It's something about being grounded.
Yeah.
And it's actually a thing now where they tell you go outside and just put your feet to the ground. And I think that that is something that I have carried through my entire life, just staying grounded no matter how high I go, making sure that I have a sense of groundedness no matter where I go.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I saw something on TikTok with the grounded.
Yeah.
People are walking barefoot now everywhere. Yeah. And
now,
they
I don't
even
know
have
about
shoes.
walking downtown. Now, that's nasty. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
They got like shoes that like are supposed to be close enough to your feet where it feels like that.
I saw that. I was like, that's a little. At home, that's cool. But like, cool. I'm not going downtown.
I'm not there yet.
No.
I don't know if I ever get that. But kudos to those, you know, because that is important.
It is important.
It is important. Yeah. It is important being grounded. So that's good. That's good. Do you go back often?
You know what? My family comes here a lot. And now that I have my home in Atlanta, it's big enough to host holidays. So a lot of times they'll come to me or we'll travel. Yeah. Honey, you know,
they come to you for the holidays.
Yeah. And it's so much more to do. But I do get back every now and then. I do a turkey drive, a Thanksgiving dinner drive through my church every Thanksgiving. And my family, they handle that part. But then for Christmas, I do a shopping spree.
Oh, that's nice.
For families. And I'll go back and host that.
Nice.
But for the most part.
Do you have a foundation or anything?
I do, yeah. Crystal Renee Hayslett Foundation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. We focus on financial literacy, mental health, and education.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Financial health, mental health, financial literacy, mental health, and
education.
That's good.
Yeah, because I feel those are key components that our community, that mental health is one that we're just now, you know,
we're just grasping.
We're just grasping and saying, you know what, it's okay to not be okay.
And it's okay to go to therapy.
Yes, and talk to people. Yes.
God gave us that gift.
He did.
To use with him.
And honey, people like, I got Jesus. I don't need therapy. Go get some help.
Unpack. Go unpack.
Take him with you.
Don't dump on your friends. They're not trash cans all the time, you know. Dump in a safe space that they have made room for you to dump and can pour back into you to fill that empty can that you now have. You know?
Good. Yes.
That's good. That's good.
So good. Yeah.
I like you said financial literacy too, because those pillars sound like they serve every generation.
Yes.
Whether it's the parent, the kid, you know, preparing them, but also, you know, growing up, we didn't have home ec at my school.
We did.
You did?
Yeah. Okay. Randomly enough in Martin, Tennessee.
A lot of people did. My mom did too, but you know, they started pulling things like that out of the school. So that's how
they don't do it anymore.
They don't.
You're absolutely right. They do.
You don't learn how to write checks anymore. You don't learn how to cook. You know, things that we actually need to survive. I'm not saying we don't need the other subjects and stuff. But
those are key.
those are key. And I remember being at home. I didn't know how to do a lot of stuff. And I'm like, Mom, how do I write a check? Balance my finances, you know?
Yeah. Or even budget.
Budget, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Being an adult and learning those things for the first time. So that's really dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. And that's gonna implement a lot of change.
Yeah. I want to change, like, even if we're teaching it to the kids, having moments where we can teach to the family. So when they're having newborns, because there's things you can start when you have the baby, you know, not, you don't have to wait until they get older. These are things that you can instill in them at a very young age. And then once they get old enough to understand, then it's like, hey, this is what I've been doing for you, putting back this so that when you get of a certain age, you're set up. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people feel like you have to be rich to do that. You know, there's ways to put some money aside. Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Kudos. That's good.
Thank you.
That's really
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we know you grew up in the church.
I did.
Right? And I know for myself, like I grew up in the church too, but I went off to college at FAM and my freshman year, I found God for myself.
Honey,
right?
Me too. I lost when I found him.
Look.
Okay.
It's an ever-ending, never-ending journey, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I found him then, but then again in 2020, I got a little deeper and found him again on the deeper level, you know?
Yeah.
And so I want you to take us back to a time or two where, you know, you had to meet him for yourself and get closer to him for yourself because of whatever situation.
Absolutely. You were in. Yeah. So like you said, I was raised in a church. I was raised Methodist.
Okay.
And we were in church every time the doors opened, you know, Sundays, but Bible study, choir practice, vacation Bible school, second service on Sunday, whatever it was,
Y'all was there.
Fish fry, whatever, we was there. And there were times I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to do everything in church? Like, I need a break. And like the Bible says, train a child up in the way they should go and they'll never depart from that, or they'll always come back to what they were taught and how they were raised. That foundation is so important. I went to college and I lived in a very, I don't want to say strict, but my parents they didn't let me do a lot.
Okay.
You know, like it was very like, get your education, focus on school, and no partying, stay out the streets, all that stuff. So freshman year, honey, I had a time. Too much of a time.
Yeah.
I was on academic probation.
Okay.
So I had to go to summer school to get my grades back up. It was a mess. I almost lost my scholarships. So I had to refocus, recalibrate that summer after my freshman year. And I stopped going to church every Sunday because I was free. You know, like I stopped making my bed. Like whatever I had to do at home, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it because I realized, you know what? I don't got to.
I don't have to anymore. Who gonna stop me?
Who gonna stop me? Who gonna check me?
Nobody.
That's real, because that happened for me at FAM when it got 16 degrees. I'm from South Florida.
You're like, wait a minute.
What is this? I'm not leaving my house. I don't have to go to class.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Keep the heater on.
Yes.
So that's real.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So true. So we had it was like some type of choir that they had at the university. And the pastor was from this Baptist church in my hometown. I went to school in my hometown as well. So and my parents once I moved out, they were like still saying, you should come to church. Like, you haven't been to church in a while. And I was like, I'm good. And I started going to Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. This church in Martin, Tennessee. Pastor Alvin Summers. And the way God speaks to me first at a young age was through music. Okay. So like, even like with Kirk Franklin, if somebody who I could understand, I loved Yolanda Adams. I loved CeCe Winans. It was one of those things where I was like, wait a minute, this is different. Because growing up in my Methodist is really close to Catholic. So we're reciting a lot of passages and it was just like very rigid and structured. And I was like, I like this. We like clapping and whooping and hollering. I was like, I can get down with this Baptist thing.
Right. Stomp.
Yeah, literally. And it was in that moment, it was a song. What song was that? He used to always sing it. It just slipped my mind. But it was a song that the pastor used to sing. And I just remember one day in church, I was just like bawling, crying. And I had never had that experience at all, you know. And I had never really seen people like catch the Holy Ghost because we just didn't really do that in our church. In that moment, I was like, I got to get back to what I know. But I had to build the relationship. I had to figure out what works for me.
Okay.
And in that moment, I realized this is the type of setting I need to help me grow closer to God during this season. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I was going to church every Sunday. And even then my parents kind of like, they wanted me to go to our home church. But I was like, no, I love this church. And that's the way God was speaking to me. And it was like a complete 180. I saw a total difference. Wow. And even my friends, the friends I was hanging with, we were going to church together. We were singing the choir together. So it was a thing where it's like started hanging around like-minded people, understanding that if I'm going to make this shift, I need to be around people that are doing the same thing. Because at a young age, you're so easily manipulated. And I needed, at an early age, I was like, I need to be around people that are seeking Jesus the way I am. And that first year I was wilding out.
Girl.
Just forgot all my upbringing.
Like, me too.
Who raised you?
And you know, it's so funny, because I did the same thing. And you do it. And like, I remember after I felt like really low because I couldn't recognize myself. You know, I was like, that's not you.
Yeah, what are you doing? Right.
What are you doing? Yeah. And like how it made me feel. And I was like really depressed in that season. And so that is real. Like, you know, we step out. We got to experience life for ourselves. But that foundation, that firm foundation. It will, hey now. Reel it in.
Reel it in. You're doing too much.
Reel it in. You wilding.
You're wilding. Yeah. And I even like you said, you have phases where you grow deeper or you may kind of like backtrack a little, backslide as the church people say. You may backslide a little bit, but it's always there. You know, when you have a conscious in a relationship, you can hear God's voice. Where it's like, come on now.
And I love that you said it was through music because you have a music background, right?
Yeah.
And before that. And God will meet you where you are, right? He knows how you're going to hear it, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah. And now like I never miss praise and worship. That's like my appetizer before I get the meal, you know?
That's so funny.
And I know some people are like, oh, I don't need to hear all the music. I just want to hear the sermon. I'm like, no, I need both. Like I need to get me in, you know what I'm saying? Let me get a little test, you know what I'm saying? Get me activated.
Give me a little bite here.
Yeah.
It's going to fill me. Yeah, that's
and then
real.
The pastor going to come and give me that word and fill me all the way up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't eat before church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I fast on Sundays. So they're like, literally I'm being fed. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I still don't eat on Sundays. I started at my mom.
All day or just until?
Oh, no. I have the church. We
brunching. We're going in. Yeah. That's traditional.
It's a traditional.
I don't care where you're from.
Right. We eating.
We eating after church. Period.
Exactly.
Wow. I like that. I might practice that. Yeah. That's a good one.
I know like at a very early age, my mom she would make breakfast in the mornings, but she wouldn't eat. And I'm like, why are you not eating? And she was like, I don't like to eat until after church. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I started doing it, but I didn't understand why I was doing it until I got older and really like understood. Because sometimes you're just doing what you see.
Yeah. As
that's
kids, facts. That's real.
As an adult, like I totally get it.
And that's good because you're going into it fasting, right? Killing your flesh. And I feel like the biggest blessing in fasting, right, is because you're denying your flesh. You're hypersensitive to everything. You see it for what it is. And I really truly believe that it's happening when we're eating, right? When we're not fasting. But it's just, we have those spiritual eyes. Right now we're just leaning on the Lord and our physical, we're denying it too. And so when he speaks, it's like, oh, you can't deny that.
No.
Like it's a movie.
It literally like, okay, Lord, I heard you right here. Okay, got it. Yeah,
no, facts. That's good. I love that. I'm gonna adapt that into my disciplines. I like that. That's dope. That's really dope. And your musical background and fasting. I saw you sing at the national anthem for the Hawks.
You did. Yeah, you texted me that night. Yes.
Are you going to be giving us music?
I am actually blocking off some dates. Like after this, I'm going to go back to Atlanta and start recording.
Wow.
Yeah, super excited about that.
That's exciting.
This is something that the fans have been asking for. And then this is how I got my start. You know, like when I moved from DC, because after college I went to DC to work on Capitol Hill and just hated politics. And something just that seed that was planted in me at a very young age kept tugging at me like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, okay, well, should I go pursue this music career? Because this is what I want to do. I want to act. And Atlanta was the spot. You know, like the pick any place on the map. And I was like, Atlanta.
Okay.
And that was the first thing that I pursued when I moved to Atlanta was my music.
Why was it Atlanta then?
Because I had so many friends thriving in Atlanta in the music industry and the arts. And I was like, if I can do it anywhere, I can do it there because I see it. Okay. My friends are doing it there. So, and then I was closer to family. I had my uncle lives there. So I was like, I can stay with my uncle until I get on my feet. So it was one of those things. It was just a no-brainer for me.
Wow. That's good. That's good. I actually did the same thing when I came to Atlanta. I stayed with my aunt and uncle. Yep. That's family.
Yes. Thank
Community,
God for family.
Right? It takes a village, right?
It does.
They say it takes a village, and that is real.
Yeah.
That is real. We talked about that yesterday on the podcast, and just the roots, right? The seeds, right? I saw my uncle serve. Like my uncle, God bless him.
Really?
Like he's just the sweetest, innocent man. Like I love you, Uncle Ronnie, because he is. And
is he a pastor?
No, he's not.
He's just kind human being. That's amazing.
He's a minister in the church, but he's, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just, his actions speak for themselves.
Yeah. That's important.
We grew up, him like being like a dad figure. My dad was in the picture.
Yeah.
But like, he told me, I said yesterday, he was like, y'all were my business. Like God gave y'all were my business, you know?
Yes.
And I hope to be like that, you know? Even my grandma and our aunts, as they get older, so they have doctor's appointments. Yeah. What time we going? I'm taking y'all, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I look to him amazing. And people like you, and I see how you guys serve, and I'm like, you know, I pray that my life is a light like that as well. Yeah,
no, for sure. It's so important. What was it? My 40th birthday party, Tyler, our boss, Tyler Perry gave a speech, and he talked about the Bible saying, when you honor another man's, God will bless you. And he had no idea that I wanted to act, and I was styling him. He's like, this girl is carrying my shoes. She's up with me at the wee hours of the morning. Like, all right, T, we got to do this. We got to be here. Let's go. He's like running after me, like, because a lot of times they would advance ahead, and the team was still trying to get there. And I'm running in with clothes, unpacking. All right, we got to change. And he said, you would have never known by the way she served me and honored what I had going on, that she had this big dream of hers. He's like, so of course, when I find out this is what she wants to do, I'm going to bless it. He's like, he just felt it. I have to because of the way she honored me. And a lot of people, he said, I don't want people to miss the service part. A lot of people miss that. You know, they think that, it's just going to happen, you know, but a lot of things happen through how you serve in other places.
Stewardship. I feel like everything I watch when I watch you on your interviews, your life is a testament to stewardship.
It is, yeah. And that's with everybody. Like wherever you see a need, try to fulfill it. You know, if God has blessed you, make sure that you try to do whatever you can do to help others. And that's all across the board.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I told y'all she was going to be dropping gems. I told y'all.
No, people miss that. They think it's all about them. They really do.
You said you spent 5 years, right, working for him. Never told him that she wanted to be an actress. Most people would be like, oh, I got this opportunity. Like,
I'm so close to him now.
Yeah. You know what? The first opportunity we get to talk to someone personal, you know, I want to be an actress, right? You know,
like, what?
Right?
Yeah.
But you waited like until, what was the moment? Yeah, what moment?
Good question. Yeah, the moment was when I was breaking down the scripts for Sisters as a costume designer and a producer. Yeah, because I was producing. Tyler and I had a conversation, and he was like, I want you to produce this show with me, Sisters. And I was like, okay, cool. Ooh, nice. So I'm giving him, me and my girls giving him our stories about dating in our 30s. Some wild stories. And then Tyler took it and put his spin on it. And it was crazy because I'm breaking them down and I'm like, wait, like these are my stories. This is things I've been through, my friends have been through. This is it. It literally hit me as I'm breaking down for all these other characters. I'm like, this is it. And I called him and I was like, T, I said, I've never told you this. And I was like, Lord, please don't let this, you know what I'm saying, rub in the wrong way,
Right.
you know, because when you're around somebody like that, you see everybody's got their hand out, asking. And it was, the Lord put it on my heart. He was like, Crystal, this is the time. And then I called Tina Gordon, who directed Praise This, a movie I did. And she's an amazing writer and director. And she's like, if you don't tell him, she's like, I'm going to slap you. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell him. She's like, this is it, Crystal, this is it. So I called and told him, and I had auditioned for stuff at TPS, never got called back, never booked anything. And when he asked me to be his stylist, I thought that was his way of letting me know, yeah, baby, acting ain't it, but I got something else.
Because you thought he had seen.
I thought he had seen it. And he talked about that too at my birthday. He was like, I had never seen anything that she had done.
Wow.
And he was like, and when I sent him he said, send me some of your self-tapes so I can see what you got. So I sent some self-tapes and he goes, I can work with this. And I was like, are you serious? He said, yeah. He said, but I'm not giving you anything. He said, you're going to have to work for this. He said, it's going to be a small part. This would be your audition. Whatever you do for it.
Did you do the audition in person or did you tape it? Like, what was
for
that?
this one? No, like he took what I had already done on self-tapes and was like, I'm going to write this character for you. Yeah. And then but like my audition was and action.
Right.
That's how
But
God
you were
works,
prepared.
Though.
Yes.
Yes.
Suddenly.
Baby.
We was just
That's how he worked. What you see other people's path to be, when God is in the mix, that is not your story.
Amen.
Like literally. And when they say he will make the tail the first, the head, and the first will be the last, like literally that is my life's testimony. I came in as this character that nobody knew her name. That was just Andy's assistant.
It was just Andy's assistant.
I was Fatima, but nobody knew me as Fatima. The audience was like, oh, that's Andy's assistant. Nobody knew like that's Fatima. Then turned that around to not being classically trained, had not taken theater, just the school of life. You know, I was really putting like my life into this character and learning, okay, how do I work this character to make her believable?
You said,
no, like
that's
I had
a word
studied.
in itself.
Yeah, no, literally. God, listen,
he doesn't call the qualified.
Come on, he qualifies the called. No,
keep going. I'm sorry.
Yes. So did that. Tyler was blown away.
Yeah.
And then we get to season 2. He brings me and Zach with DeVal Ellis. He brings our characters together. And he said, I'm going to, just from what I did on season 1, he said, I'm going to make you a sister.
Okay.
So it was 4, now there's 5. He said, and you're going to be a series regular. From
no name to series regular.
Hello, on the billboards. But this is how God, he will literally push you.
Propel.
Literally. So we're in COVID, middle of COVID. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. So I've got all this downtime. I was like, I'm going to study. I need to, again, stewardship. Steward is also making sure you steward your blessings. Yeah. Not just over people, but also the blessings God gives you. How do you steward over that as well? And I said, okay, God, let me take some classes. Okay. So I signed up for Spicer and Sturgis. It's a group out of LA that Will Smith studied with.
Okay.
And studied with them. I did a very intensive course for over 3 months with them. Okay. And came back for season 2 after everything was lifted. We can go back to work for COVID. Were you in the bubble?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did it for a couple seasons, right? Yeah.
So we did the bubble and I go back first day and Tyler was like,
it was a difference.
What have you been doing? And as I've been doing the work.
Woo!
And he was like, I see. It was just a totally different confidence. Wow. I learned character breakdown. I learned different methods. It was so much that I came back with. And that was when I got my study, you know, where I was like, okay, let me get this, really learn and take it serious. And because I had a friend, Pooch Hall, a good friend of mine, who was on The Game, and Ray Donovan. He was like, Crystal, he was like, acting is, he said, a lot of people feel like you got to have all these acting classes and being trained. He was like, forget all that. He was like, take every character and just do what you would do in that situation. Yeah. He's like, then it comes off real versus trying to pretend to be something. Yeah. But then through learning more and actually studying, I learned that I can create this character and know this person as I know myself and become that person and then react the way they would based off of their background. Because a lot of times the way we react to stuff is what we've been through. Right. So once I would create that for the character to become something else.
That's good.
Yeah. So then it still comes off naturally because you know what this character's been through from the moment they were born to who they are today.
That's good.
But yeah, that's the way God works, man. Like he literally propelled me. And then season 3, I had my own show. And I'm like, I couldn't.
And trending every week on Twitter.
That was what it was. Season 2, Tom was like, what are you doing to these people? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're trending every Wednesday. And I was like, I'm just doing what you wrote on the paper. I don't know. He's like, no, this is crazy. And still to this day, like Fatima trends, and then it's Sisters on BET trends. But Fatima's always trending by herself.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's
amazing.
God.
That's God, right?
And he will blow your mind.
Wow.
The things we write, we're like, God, I want this, this, and this. He's like, child, sit down.
We were just talking about how God probably be up there, feet up, laughing like
you don't even know what I got for you.
Do you know who you are? Hey,
right.
down there.
Stop it.
Look, cut it out.
You're selling yourself short, baby. Yeah.
Stop talking to him.
That too, okay?
Do this, like so many things.
Yes. No.
Wow,
for
that's
sure.
good. Yeah. So you talked about stewardship, right?
Yes.
Not only in with other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you stewarding in this season right now?
That's
right?
good.
Because God has took you from glory to glory, right?
Yes, he
Where
has.
He still is, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you now?
Yeah. So right now I am in a very beautiful position where I am taking my career in my own hands. You know, it's a transitional phase, but I'm trusting God more than I ever have. You know, because every level you go, it's like, all right, Lord, it's a bigger faith, a bigger stretch, you know, to say, okay, you brought me this far. Where can we go from here? And right now I am stewarding over my business. I'm stewarding over the people that I have working for me, making sure that everyone is happy and fulfilled in their positions. Stewarding, making sure that I'm spending time with my family. My parents are getting older. They just had their 37th anniversary.
Yeah, y'all went to Paris, right? Y'all did a whole lot.
We did
right?
a whole lot. Yeah, we did Paris, Rome, and Venice for their 37th. They had a ball.
That's good.
Yeah, they're still calling me every day like, oh my gosh.
Going through the pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to be able to afford to share those moments with them. And I had a lot of people hit me and say, man, that's goals. Like I want to do that for my family one day. And I'm like, you will. Like just keep working hard. Like it can happen. And so stewarding over that, because a lot of times you get so busy with life that you realize you're losing time. You know, I think when I turned 40, it was one of those moments where I was like, whoa, this is like half of my life expectancy. Something switched in that moment. I literally woke up the day after my birthday. Like the night I had this huge party. Like it was just like, it was so much going on. Like we had Tank, we had 2 Chainz, Q from 112, Jay Howell. It was so many people there. And then all my friends were surrounding me. And it was just like every moment it was like a camera in my face. Like I wasn't able to really take in the day. And I woke up the next morning, I was scrolling through everybody's stories. I was like, dang, that was lit. And then I just laid there and I was like, wow, I'm 40. Wow. I don't have that much longer. You know what I'm saying? It hits you like, because if you live to be 80, that's a great life.
You
know?
have, yeah.
Yeah. So when you think of it like that, it's like, what am I going to do with this second half? If Lord willing to give me another 40 years, what am I going to do with it? And I think in that moment, I was like, I really got to take this thing serious. I can't just skate through it. So like every day I wake up, I'm intentional about what I'm going to do, how I start my day, how I spend every hour. Like I'm very structured. Like I have a calendar. My assistant makes sure that they're keeping me on task, but there's certain things that I have to do throughout that day. And that's how I live. I love it. You know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Because my next question was going to be, in all of this, right? In the busyness, right? New responsibilities, right? New titles. How are you taking care of yourself?
That's good. Yeah. One, therapy. Therapy is good because a lot of times people don't want to talk about this, but with this new level of success comes a different type of, what I've learned is anxiety. I didn't think, when people are like, I'm just so anxious, I'm like, for what? Like, I didn't get it, you know, until this season of my life where I'm like, had my first panic attack and I was like, what is this? Like, am I having a heart attack right now? Like my vision was blurred, eyes going back and forth. It was the craziest thing. And it was like, no, you're having a panic attack. And we had to literally dissect, what is it that is causing you to have these fears and like this anxiety? And it ended up being the weight of, how do I keep this all? How do I, you know what I'm saying? Because this is new, you know? So how do I, for the next however many years, keep this success, keep this for my family, keep this for me? Because everything changes, you know, I mean, you can attest, the things, your palate changes, the things you like, you know, your taste, the more money you get, it's like, oh, I can have this now, or I can do this. but you got to keep working to keep those things up. And the things that we are afforded, it doesn't, in our industry, it's in somebody else's hands. And I think the weight of knowing that like, I don't have any control over this got really crazy. So therapy is one thing that I do. Exercise. Like I have to exercise. That is like a mental relief for me. And it's funny because like a lot of times people are like, I want to come work out with you. That's my time.
Person,
this is my time. Like as much as I want you to work out. Like please, did you move today? Go work out. I want you to do that. But that's my time. You know, that's my time to just vibe out, be with myself, push myself. I spend a lot of time alone. You know, my friends call me the biggest introvert extrovert because I can like be like, let's have fun. Let's do this. Come on, guys.
Awesome one.
And then I'm like, and they know me. Like I had everybody out here for the 4th of July, planned a beautiful week for everybody. And on the 5th, I was like, book those flights.
Time to go.
And then one friend was like, yeah, I was thinking about staying an extra day. And I was like, you gonna get a hotel? Because
the meter's empty.
The meter's empty because I just finished BT Award weekend. That was a lot of like giving energy. Like it's like, okay. And then I jumped right into hosting for the 4th. And I was like, I need at least like 3 days to recharge so that I can get back to pouring again. And I think that's important. A lot of times you pour so much that you forget to pour back into yourself. And if you don't have people to remind you or that understand it's time for her to pour back into herself, you may forget.
Right.
So do that. And I love to travel. That's something else I do for myself, like exploring the world, just seeing God's wonder in other places. It also helps me stay grounded, especially when we travel out of the States, to see how people live in the simplicity. And it really shifts your mind on the things that you need or you feel that you need to be happy. It's like, wow, these people are really happy with way less, you know? So that's something else I do, just even for, just to keep me grounded and change my perspective. Cause I can get caught up. I'm not gonna lie. Like I get caught up, like I want a different Van Cleef every time I get paid, or like, I need this new car. Wake up, I want this. And it's like, do you really need all that? You know, so I've been there, you know what I'm saying, where I've gotten caught up in a lot of stuff that comes with the image of success. Right. We being real, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like you get caught up with like, okay, I gotta have this type of car, I gotta have this type of house, I gotta do this and this and that. And I think the strike really made me realize, one, I do not want my life to be in anyone else's hands. I need to take control of this. Every check I get, I'm investing in something big that's gonna, when this is over with, I'm good. You know, I don't want to think like, dang, I should have, because we hear so many stories of people that being like, dang, I remember when I should have did this. I should have stewarded over this, even stewarding over them finances, you know? Yeah. Like for me, tithing is a thing that I don't play about. And when I'm dating somebody, that's one question I ask, like, how do you feel about tithing? And a lot of people have this bad taste in their mouth about the church and money. And how pastors are living in like, so pastors just will be broke, you know what I'm saying? No, but like when you see where the money's going, I see what my church is doing. I don't care what my pastor's doing. Most time pastors are doing like more than just preaching on Sundays to make their living. Exactly. And when I see that, I'm like, I'm not worried about that. What I worry about is knowing that this is what the Bible says I'm supposed to do. And I know when I didn't do that,
what it was like and where you was at.
I felt it. I felt it. So when people, they're like, dang, because I make sure God get that and some.
You know, you were on another podcast and you were talking about that. Yeah. And growing up, I would tithe, right? But I watched you on another podcast and God used you in that moment because from there on, I can't remember what
it was. Dear Future Wifey.
It was Dear Future Wifey. Yeah, it was. It was Dear Future Wifey. And from that moment on, I put it on auto pay. Soon as I get paid, soon as the residuals, soon as whatever come in, that's good. Get my 10 and then the generosity on top of that. Because the 10 is just the start.
Yeah, point, literally. You know?
Our church says generosity is our privilege, right?
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's so important.
That blessed me. That's something I took away from that podcast. I was like, you know what? I need to, because before it was just like, I was tithing. You know, I wasn't as in the amount. I would just give like whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm like, nah, this is a blessing to even have this, right? Yeah. And this is not mine. We can't take it with us.
We cannot take
it with us.
When we die, that money Uncle Sam gonna take it.
And I go to this church every Sunday to eat.
Baby.
Right? So I'm just taking.
Well, when we go to Nobu, what we doing?
Giving our money away. Give me this.
To eat what? Carbs?
Give me the platter.
Yeah, give me everything.
Give me the steak with the goat on it.
Right. I need all that.
I'm gonna shut up.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with listen, I love you a little.
Give me all that.
Yes.
But that's facts. And the same energy should be applied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that did bless me. That really, it changed my actions.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like, okay, you need to make sure.
Next week.
I think that for me, it was God knew to put me around him because he knows I'm malleable. And when I see things, I pick it up, whether it was the business that I learned from Tyler, how to carry myself through fame from Tyler, how to monitor my finances. I've watched him go through every single payment, click yes. Sometimes you're just surrounded by so much of God's grace. It's just like, I could not hold it. And I just started crying before we even started eating. It was just like, but I want people to see like, hey, I love God. I am flawed, but God, you see, it's in the evidence.
Love. It's in the evidence.
It's in the evidence that he loves me.
If you enjoyed this episode and you want to keep in touch with all of our guests, make sure you follow them on all platforms.
It's in the evidence. It's in the evidence.